right, Khan. First, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hamashiach Yahushai. So this quick lesson is going to be on some brothers, wicked brothers, who's looking at brothers in his truth, specifically just looking if Israelites forget precepts. Because at the end of the day, it's all up to the Most High to allow the brothers to retain that knowledge from what they've been studying. And if you ever go, and if you one of them brothers commenting on a brother's things saying that, yo, Ak, you off for forgetting a precept, don't it say study to show thyself approved? Like, you also got to answer this. Like, when you see basketball players playing, I know brothers seen that clip of Steph Curry. You can look it up if you didn't. When Steph Curry had a wide open, ran down, he was wide open. He slipped, fell, missed a wide open dunk, ran to the corner, shot an air ball 3. And I know brothers done seen Klay Thompson shoot a 0 for however, but he's just not the same Klay type stuff. Does it defeat the point that they were studying? My favorite in the world, my favorite basketball player used to be LeBron. I seen LeBron miss layups. I seen him miss a layup when the game count. I seen him miss free throws and stuff like that. The same way as you see these professional athletes, they will miss. Doesn't mean they will quit in this truth. Doesn't mean just because they got a precept wrong. I mean, just because they missed a shot, are they gonna be like, man, I don't know, this is too hard in this basketball stuff. I can't do it no more. If you ever forget the precept in this truth, whether it be on the slab, whether it be speaking to a person, you gotta study and you gotta build yourself back up, because we're destined to forget a few precepts. Lord forbid we forget a precept. But let me bring this out. This is First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 60. Nevertheless, as the will of God is in heaven, so let him do. So it's the will of the Most High, Yahweh, which is God's real name, is Yahweh. That's his will to let him do, to let you do in this truth, to let you whether to remember the precepts that you've been studying, whether it could be remember Revelations, the 18th chapter breakdown, 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, or the 15th. Whether it could be any of these precepts to know how to break it down, it's up to the will of the Most High to allow you to retain that knowledge and to be able to teach it to somebody else so they can understand. So if you ever forget a precept in this truth, don't bash yourself too hard. Don't be like, man, I'm off, because some brothers, like some of our wicked Israelites, they will literally sit on YouTube waiting for a group to post just to see them miss a precept, just to see an elder who finally built up his spirit to get on the slab, to be able to speak unto Israel, who be stiff-necked anyways, that don't listen to the truth, to speak unto them. And then a dude watching that, hear the dude forget 1 to 2 to 5 precepts and then start bashing that dude. That dude is off. If you ever find you're that prideful to bash another Hebrew Israelite in his truth for forgetting a precept, you need to repent, you need to fast, and you need to get yourself right in this truth. Because I know for a fact, you probably forgot a precept. You probably don't know how to break down John 3:16 or John 3, the whole chapter, or to break down when Paul says, I speak unto the Gentiles, stuff like that. So this is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh. So just because a brother forget a precept don't mean that he wasn't studying. That brother could have read 40 chapters a week. He could have been studying in something real deep, real edifying, trying to get that precept to match on there. And when he was bringing something else out and he called the wrong precept, does that mean he wasn't studying? Nah, he was studying for the Most High. That's why Yahweh only knows what man do on the day in the day out. I don't know what other brothers do in this camp. Same how they don't know what I do on a day in and day out. So this is why you got to study. Build yourself up. Yeah, Lord forbid you miss a precept. Hopefully you could be a precept king. But in Jeremiah 31 and 31, it tells you that's the only time when you read on down that when we remember the law, statutes, and commandments, that we will be able to break down all these things, that we could be able to go into scripture and know these precepts and stuff like that. That's when I seen that new covenant be able to come. Brothers don't know the Lord now. You be on a slab teaching, and they come out of a Christian church, they can't even give you 10 commandments. You know what I'm saying? So let me read that again. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Not to be ashamed in your work. Because let's say you build up a building. Are you going to be ashamed how you built the foundations? You're going to allow someone else to bash it, be like, I see that little speck right there. You didn't get that right. Now you're not going to be ashamed in that work. The same way you can't be ashamed when you studying in these precepts and to be able to edify Israel, because you know what you're doing on a day in and day out. I'm not speaking to the slothful brothers that don't study, that don't be in the scripture reading every day. And don't think I'm judging, because I try, Lord will, best of my abilities to read every day at least one chapter or more. So you got to at least read every single day and to also study these precepts, you know? So don't, if you one of those brothers in this truth, hold or Salakia, brothers in the world that's looking at brothers in the truth, trying to bash them for forgetting a precept, you off. You off at the end of the day. So let me go to real quick, Ecclesiastes. Hold on. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 11. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not, Salakia, that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet honor to man of skill, but time and chance happening to them all. So this race is talking about the truth. So this way in the truth, just because you know more precepts than a brother in this truth, don't mean you better than them. Don't mean the Most High God ain't using them for a different purpose in this truth. Precepts, you are commanded to know precepts, but that's not, you got to put in the work. You got to have on fringes. You got to be growing a beard. You got to have a staff. You got to put away pork. You got to actually apply those things to your life. Just, yes, it's good to know precepts, but are you applying them to your life? Because that brother, he could know some of those precepts, but he just don't got them memorized in his mind, but he's applying those scriptures to his life. Does that mean he's off? It doesn't mean he's off, because he's doing the work of the Lord. That's why in 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 3, it says, basically, let me go and get that real quick before I go off. Don't want to real fast. So look, this is 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse number 3. It says, talk no more exceeding proudly. Let not arrogance come out your mouth, for the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. So just because you know all these precepts, you got to apply those actions from those precepts unto your life. Like putting away eating pork, put away eating shrimp, lobster, and crab. Don't eat dogs. Don't eat cats. Wear fringes. Grow your beard out. If you a woman, have a head wrap on and wear a dress with fringes at the bottom. Keep your household in order. Apply these scriptures unto your life. So, and then that's, let me get this precept real quick. So this is Job chapter 35 and verse 2. So this is for brothers who thinks they know like way more. You start, next thing you know a million precepts. Yeah, I ain't talking to that brother no more. He couldn't give me 10 commandments. He couldn't give me 2 precepts on each of the commandments. He couldn't give me a precept on John 3 and 14, what that was talking about in Numbers chapter 21. He couldn't give me that breakdown. Yeah, Ak is off. I ain't gonna listen to what he got to say no more. Or you moving proudly, thinking you know it all. Nobody could teach you in this truth. You can't get taught. You want to teach everybody. You want to always be first to preach. You don't want to wait your turn and listen to another brother preaching. So that's how you could get real prideful when knowing all these scriptures and stuff like that. So this is Job chapter 35 and verse 2. Thinkest thou this to be right, that thou sayest, my righteousness is more than God? Next thing you know, you might start saying your righteousness is more than the Lord. Or you might think you better than the Lord. Or you might think you better than a brother in this truth. Think you know everything, ins and outs. You know what time Yahweh Shai is coming back. You know what time with all these signs is coming back. And this brother don't know nothing. And you start bashing him in this truth. Now you're going to be off for that. So let me get real quick. 1 Samuel 16. Salakia. So this is First Samuel. Wait. Chapter 16 and verse number 13 to 14. And it says, and Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And David of the Lord was Salakia. And the spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up, went to Ramah, but the spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. So you see that? You could get real prideful in this truth. And the Most High could just take back his spirit from you. Be like, you ain't being righteous no more. You think you better than every brother in this truth. You think you on a high horse above everybody. And the next thing you know, some brothers in this truth, they don't believe that Yahushua rose from the dead. You know, you can start moving all different ways. The Most High could allow you to go to a different path and forget the ways of righteousness, you know? So Saul, he probably was feeling like he was getting real built up in the spirit, thinking he was better, you know? That's why he started getting jealous of David. David was when it says Saul killed 1,000, but David killed 10,000. They probably was saying, oh man, David knew more precepts, Saul only knew 2. David had missed precepts, Saul missed 5. Next thing you know, he started getting more mad. He was like, man, I gotta get on this brother. Now that's why he started pursuing David, because he got jealous. So you can't have that spirit, that wicked spirit upon you. You know, you gotta constantly try to ask for humbleness and be real, and just be humble in this truth. Don't think you better than everybody. So let me get this in 1 Samuel chapter 28 and verse number 6. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. You see that? So Saul, the Most High completely cast Saul off. The Most High wasn't dealing with him. He wasn't allowing prophets to prophesy to him. And he wasn't even showing them visions and dreams. And he wasn't just dealing with him, basically. Let me jump down to verse 15. And Samuel said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answering me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what shall I do. Now, if you're familiar with the story, basically Saul went and got a witch, and then she went and bring down the spirit, and then Samuel's spirit came down. So Saul, he went and inquired to speak to Samuel. He was like, man, why is the Lord not dealing with me no more? Why is he not allowing the prophets to prophesy to me? Why is he not answering my prayers? Why is he not giving me dreams? Why is he not letting me see visions? Why is he not letting me see all these things? Now, verse 16. And then Samuel, wherefore then doest thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee and is become thy enemy. Next thing you know, the Most High stopped dealing with you, because you want to think you better than everybody in this truth. You want to think you know way more than a brother in this truth who just got in the truth. You're supposed to be that example towards that brother. Build him up in the spirit. Don't bash him for missing 1 precept. Don't bash him for missing 10 precepts. Be like, hey, Ak, it's good you got 2 precepts. You got 2 precepts on how you can love God, and you got 2 precepts on who God came for. You should build him up in that spirit to make him feel what's that word? Feel that brotherly love towards his brother. Won't feel all embarrassed that he missed a few precepts. So look, this is real quick. This is Romans 2. So if you one of those brothers that really sit there diligently waiting for a video to get posted up, to look to see when a brother missed a precept, to think you're better than everybody, to think you can't get taught, to think you don't have to do the law, then hey man, you off, you know? So it's commanded, yes, to remember precepts according to Isaiah 28:10, according to 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse number 73, I believe. All those precepts tells you that it's commanded to remember precepts. But wait, Salaki, I don't want to say that. However, you might forget a few. You might learn a new precept and then you forget that old precept you had stored up. That's why you constantly want to stay studying. I'm not telling you to be slothful in the truth, but don't bash yourself when you miss a precept. Just like how you practicing all day long in the backyard, dribbling in between cross, hezzy, spin move, layup, jelly, whatever. You practicing all that. When you get in the game and you do a in between and it hits off your leg, you can't be mad at yourself. It's a part of the game. The same way it's a part in this truth. You might miss a few precepts. It is what it is. Whether it could be, at the end of the day, we ain't perfect, but we're striving to be perfect. I'm not saying you can't be perfect. You're striving towards that perfection, you know? So let me get, Romans chapter 2 and verse 1. Therefore, thou excusable, O man, whosoever thou art that judgest, for wherein thou judgest another, thou condemnest thyself. For thou that judgest doest the same things. You see that? So if you judging a brother, you better, if whatever you judging that brother on, you better be tight in that game. If you judging a brother on forgetting 5 precepts, you best believe that brother he better not ever see you miss a precept. Because you judging him for missing a precept. Amen. It is what it is. You might miss a precept in this truth. You might forget that one precept, but that's why we got brothers around you. That's why you got to gather yourselves together, because you're going to have that brother who's well-versed and he could study in that and he could be able to pull that precept out that you're looking for. But that doesn't mean that you don't study because you counted on another man. You want to constantly study in that same precept, whether it got to be fasting, whether it got to be calling that brother up to help, to allow him to be able to study, or the first thing should be praying to the Most High. That's the very first thing you should do. Pray to the Most High to get that understanding, that wisdom, that humble spirit to be able to remember and retain precepts, to be able to break it down, to be able to make people understand. Says verse 2, but we are sure that the judgment of God is according to truth against them which commit such things. And thinkest thou this, O man, that judgest them which do such things, and doest the same, that thou shalt escape the judgment of God? So if you one of them brothers, right, that's bashing another brother for forgetting a precept, and you forget a precept, you're going to get judged on that same thing. Don't the scriptures say, remove the beam that is in thy own eye? Let me get that. So this is Matthew 7 and verse 1. It says, judge not that ye be not judged. So it's better to not judge at all, but we're commanded to judge. So if you judging another brother, and let's say as me, if I go on a slab, I ask somebody, yo, can you give me 10 commandments? I better know the 10. Because if they can't give me 10, I'll be like, you see that? You don't know the 10. I got to be able to give 10 too. Because I'm judging. I got to know the same thing. If I'm judging a brother for missing a precept, like I never missed a precept before in my life, which I have. So if you judging a brother like that, you better never miss a precept. And in verse 2, it says, for which what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. So the same way you measuring or you are judging that brother, it's the same way you're going to get that same judgment. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but consider not the beam that is in thy own eyes? How you think that brother would feel when you bashed him in the comments or whatever, or in person saying, yo, Ak, you off for forgetting those precepts? He probably seen you forget the precepts, you know? Or if you one of those people, like I'm saying, the wicked Israelites that be in the comments bashing people, the real Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, 12 tribes of Israel, when you see them go on them highways and byways trying to prophesy unto a rebellious house that don't want to listen to God, and you bashing them for forgetting 1 precept or 2 precepts, then you off your damn self. You can't, you gotta, I know for a fact you probably forgot a precept. Not probably, for sure. The Most High knows you forgot a precept. The angels on your side knows you forgot a precept. And you typing up, yeah, this is why I ain't gonna watch. blah, blah, blah no more. Because this brother up here preaching to the people and forgot a damn precept. Supposed to be a Hebrew Israelite. Man, you now you being a hypocrite. Let me keep going on that. And in verse 4, or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote of thy eye, and behold a beam that is in thy own eye? Thou hypocrite. So you're going to be a hypocrite according to the Bible, right? Like, let's say if I'll be a hypocrite if I'm telling a brother to get a staff and I don't have a staff. And I tell him to get a shofar and I don't have a shofar. I tell him to have fringes on and I don't have fringes on. I tell him to remember every precept and don't forget, and I'm not trying to remember every precept and don't forget. Then I'm a hypocrite at the end of the day. First cast out the beam of thy own eye, and then shall thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. You see that? So you constantly, in this truth, gotta make sure you being humble. Don't be too proud when you know a bunch of precepts. You're not better than everybody. The Most High could put us. Don't the Most High always choose the weak? He chose David to beat Goliath. He always goes to establish his greatness towards the world. So don't think the Most High is dealing with you different than everybody. Just because you got that spirit, the Most High could take that at any time. He could, as a snap of the finger, you could die, you know? So let me get this in Proverbs real quick. So look, this is Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 16. For the just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again. Yeah, you're going to fall and forget a precept. Lord forbid you don't. But let's say you do. You got to rise up again. You got to constantly fast, study, show yourself approved unto Yahweh, so you could be able to be constantly in these scriptures. If you forget a precept, amen, that's that evil seed of Adam, man. You know, that's that. Can't wait for that covenant, what it was prophesied in Jeremiah 31 and 31, and also in Hebrews, when it tells you that when we gonna remember the law, we won't be going around on them highways and byways asking, do you know the Lord? Can you give me 10 commandments? Can you give me 2 commandments on a beard? Can you give me 2 commandments on pork and stuff like that? You know? So a just man will fall. You're gonna fall, you're gonna slip up, you know. Forget 1 to 2 to 5 precepts, whether it be preaching in front of the camera. You might forget a precept, but if you do, don't bash yourself. You know what you was doing. You know if you was studying. Again, I'm not speaking to the slothful brothers who is not reading, who is not studying, because you commanded to study and you're commanded to read. So let me get this in real quick. 2nd Ezra 4:30. Slovakia. So look, this 2nd Ezra 4:30. For the gain of evil seed has been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness have it brought up unto this time. So Adam was basically programmed to go off, for the better words. The Most High knew Adam was going to bite into that fruit. Yes, he knew that. That's why I said it was sown into Adam from the beginning. And it says, and how much ungodliness has it brought up unto this time, and how much it shall bring forth until the time of threshing comes. So now you got all these wickedness. You could be able to buy all these whatever like stuff to pleasure yourself. You could go on OnlyFans, Pornhub, etc. You could go down Figaro or meet a girl, have sex with her. All that ungodliness it brought forth. And this is to show that's why we could try our best, but it's always to the will of Yahweh through Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, which is Christ's real name, Yahweh Shai, to allow you to remember these precepts. That's why you want to constantly pray, constantly meditate, constantly be in these scriptures. That's why in Genesis 24 and 63, what did Isaac do? He went into the field and meditate on these scriptures to know the breakdowns, to know the ins and outs for the precepts. But yes, you might forget one precept. Study on that precept. Try to not forget it again. Then you might forget another one. Study on that one too. Don't bash yourself for forgetting a precept. It's going to happen. Lord forbid, though. Lord forbid. And then also, no matter if you a new camp trying to get built up and then trying to post videos onto Israel, no matter how hard you try to make the video look perfect, edit stuff out and stuff like that, Israel will still find a way to bash you. No matter what you do, whether it could be a heathen that comes in and riles up the coons of the Israel to get to start cooning and scoffing, it is what it is. Because even when you read in Exodus, when our people was crying unto the Most High, and it tells you more in Psalm 78, how when they was crying for bread and the Most High gave them bread, the side filled their lusts. What do? We start murmuring against the Most High. That's just the way Israel is. Israel's constantly like that with that spirit. You never see two Caucasian men doing that to another Caucasian. That's only for Israel. So no matter if you miss a precept, man, keep that in the video, you know, because you're gonna see brothers miss a precept, and that's constantly gonna make you, oh, we humans, you know, we gonna make a little mistake, we gonna make a little error, we're gonna forget this one precept. I know when I see a brother miss a precept, it makes me calm, chill. I'll be like, oh, yeah, he can forget, whether it could be Zabak, whether it could be Naquan, whether it could be any brothers in this truth, even brothers in my camp. If I forget them, if I see them miss a precept, I ain't gonna bash them for it. I'm gonna be like, hey man, it is what it is. You was just off. You off by 2. Let's say you off by 2. You called the wrong precept. Let's say you wanted thus with violence in Revelations, the 18th chapter and verse 21, and he calls 18:18. You know, and he told me to read it. I'm gonna know what he meant, and I'm gonna jump to 21, and I'm gonna read it for the brother. So yes, brothers in this truth can miss precepts. So that was the lesson. That was to show that Israel can miss a little precepts. If you miss a precept, don't bash yourself. Again, the same way as pro basketball. I know I've seen Bernie Sanders in the NFL. He fumbled. I seen Jordan Ramsey dropped interceptions, and he's a cornerback, practicing all the day long. You know, it's just destined to happen. It's always up to the will of Yahweh through Hamashiach Yahweh Shah, that he can allow you to remember these laws, statutes, and commandments, and these precepts. So you got to constantly pray, constantly fast, constantly, whether it is to build yourself up in the spirit, that's how you want to present yourself unto the Most High. Don't walk around being proud. Hold on, let me get this real fast. So look, this is James 4:10. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. It's commanded to humble yourself. So humble yourself in the sight of the Most High, Yahweh, through Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, of course. You gotta be humble. We're supposed to be humble. Don't be like Esau, who always is proud, who wants to be better than everybody, who thinks he's better than everybody. We gotta constantly build our brothers up. Constantly, hey, Ak, it's all right, you missed a precept. Study, I'll help you study. Call the brother up. Try to be that example to show that you're trying to constantly show that brotherly love, you know? That's the same way Christ was doing when he was washing brothers' feet. He was showing brotherly love. So yeah, if you ever miss a precept in this truth, don't bash yourself for it, you know? Make sure you constantly is studying, constantly is reading. And with that, I'm going to give all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, and that will be the lesson. So shalom, shalom.